Blessings. While we waiting on the people to come in, shout out to everybody that made it through another week. My co-host, my collaborative partners. To everybody that I'm working with on these projects. Salutes to each and every one of you.
What the? Okay. It seems like it's only me and you that come on here. Not that it's a bad thing. That's actually a good thing. Because you said can you hear me? Why is it not? Can you hear me? Why can't I hear you? Can you hear me? I wonder what's up. Oh, okay. I don't know why you. I'm right here if you can't see me. Just sitting here.
All right, how we
Okay,
sound?
you can hear me now?
No, I heard you
Oh,
before.
because I didn't hear you.
Yeah, that it was on my end. I don't know what happened. My Bluetooth speaker cut off on me, so
You don't get
I had
disappointed. You don't get disappointed when people don't come on the live a lot, do you?
nah. That doesn't
Okay, no, that's
really
good
bother.
because no, because you had told me before somebody promised and they didn't, and I was like, I hope that don't discourage you.
Uh, I don't think it was It's not necessarily whether or not someone is on here. Numbers don't really make a difference if no one's really taking anything from the conversation.
Oh, that's
My
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 nephew going here. I
what
hear
was
you.
that?
I'm listening. My nephew was just sent me a message.
Okay. Now when I do the live streams, it's not necessarily for validation. I'm not seeking nobody's approval
Right,
or
I get you.
yeah, it's more or less for me. And like I said, there's things that need to be discussed that people tend to sweep under the rug and are afraid of covering their daily life. So with me having a platform, I just figured, what's the point of having one if I'm not going to really utilize it in a positive way?
Right,
So
that's true.
whether or not I have one person on here or 20 people on here, it wouldn't make a difference.
That's
I'm still going to feel
exactly.
yeah, I'm still going to feel the way I feel about certain situations regardless. So to those who do get something out of it, cool. To those who opt to take other routes for edification, that's cool too. I'm not opposed to anybody making their own decision.
Yeah, I was just watching something on YouTube, and then I was like, not again, and it was I think it happened in Texas, and I was like, not again. think it was a mall shooting. I was just like, not again. I don't know what's going on anymore because I'm starting to wonder, like, I don't know, are people at their wits end and they just done? Because I'm trying to be positive, but it's like, my goodness, every day.
Yeah, I don't know how much of yesterday's live report, but it was about three women getting into an altercation over
Oh
Facebook.
yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, I don't know how the argument started. They were on Facebook Live.
And they was family.
Yeah, two of them were cousins. The other person that shot and killed them, I don't know what her next were, but apparently, they were close to some agreement. They got into a dispute online. The two ladies showed up to her property.
And they were
She asked,
family though. All of them were family.
were they?
Yeah, they were family. They were supposedly they were all cousins. But it's like, okay, that's a severe dysfunction within a family. Because I thought my family had problems. But that's severe when you feel the need to pick up a gun when I mean, like okay, remember when my son came on the live and the way you and Six Rings talked to him, you were able to all three just talk, no kind of
Right,
animosity or anything. If you like have a problem with your relatives, and this was anybody, you have the option to just walk away or distance yourself from this person. But I don't. I mean, there was one of them that was in the car. She brought her kids with her. Why would you bring kids to something like that? And then they showed. See, I didn't see the video because I didn't want to see it because they said that one of the cousins was running when she shot the first cousin. Then she shoots her too. She's running away from you. Why would you shoot her? And she did. And I was like, I thought my family had problems, but you know what I did with if when I have problems within my family, I distance myself. It's like, okay, we can't get along, so we just love each other from a distance or just, move on. But that shouldn't have happened. And it's like now that family, the children, the entire family is destroyed. I wish them luck on getting back after all of that. Because they were her cousins. So I'm like, oh my God. I I was like numb to that. I still can't believe that's family doing that to each other. But it's wow. I couldn't fathom that. I was like, this is actually family doing this to each other. So everybody's probably destroyed in the family now. What are they gonna do? That's crazy. I'm sorry, I didn't mean
it
to
is.
interrupt you because you were talking about it. But yeah, I had heard when it first happened and I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it.
Nah, this was one of those subjects I think we almost went 2 hours speaking on it. I mean, it got to the point to where it was just a question of, was this really self defense? Did the lady have the right to shoot two unarmed
I
women?
know.
Um, there was a lot of questions that we left unanswered yesterday. So I can honestly just ask you how you feel about the situation in general. Because for me personally, I said that this could have went a completely different way.
Yeah.
I could never fathom or understand how, as an adult with children, you're at home, you're in your own dwelling. How do you get to a place to where words, affect you so deep
Right.
that you're willing to give up your life, you're willing to uproot everyone around you, all, all over words, all over being in a space where the people that you're trying to entertain could care less about. How do we get to a place where you're so angry that you're like, oh, you said something to me that I don't like. Now we got to do something about it. There's no other way around it. You called me a name, you lied to me, you slept with my man,
Yeah.
you did something to me. Now, there's no other choice. You literally put a gun to my head. Now I have to defend myself because if I don't, everybody that's watching is going to look at me a certain way. I'm not going to be able to live with myself knowing that you spoke to me in a derogatory way. Let me show you. Let me prove to you that I am somebody, that my name matters, that my name stake matters.
Mm.
I'm going to defend my honor. This is my honor that you're trying to take. Let me show up to your property. And then on the other end, you got the lady that is on the other side going back and forth with her doing the same thing. But I just I can't understand how we can't slow down and like people don't want to use their brains anymore. Everything is off of emotion
Yeah.
and
Don't think.
and pride. Yeah,
I think some people need to be on medications. I'm just being honest because to bring them down, and I'm not promoting that for everybody, but I mean, so they can think before they act. Because some people act on, like you said, emotion. And then they said one of the cousins, after she shot her, was on the ground saying, "I'm sorry," but she was like dying, and I was like, "Wow." And I mean, me and my mother, and I love my mother, but we don't get along because there's a dysfunction there. But I still respect my mother. I would never, disrespect her or anything, but we don't get along as mother and daughter. And we've always been that way for years because my mom had her problems. And she raised her children with them same. Sometimes you can pass on a cycle. And I'm guessing that's what happened with them. But I would never, I mean, with any, and I have one sister, I would never come to that point with her. I would just distance myself. Because, I mean, they not only just, she not only, their lives were not only taken, but the entire family is going to be affected. The children that saw it, I don't see, I mean, that's, wow. It's so much going on. It's like, but I have people that I know, and it's like, how do you tune it out? How do you go on with your life and just act like these things don't happen? Because some people, it's not even seem like it's bothering them. They just go on with their life. So I was like, maybe I should, I guess pretend like they do that this stuff is not happening, but it is. So I don't know. But yeah, when they said she was saying I was sorry, I'm sorry. See, they could have just talked it out. They could have just talked it out, cried, argued with each other, but just talked it out. So that's a dysfunctional family.
I look
I,
I looked at I looked at that situation in a couple of ways. One, that that argument or disagreement that they had, that couldn't have been the root of the problem.
mm-hmm. Right.
You know, you don't wake up one day and have that much animosity in overnight. No, that's impossible. That has to have been in you for a long time
Yep.
to
Just
build.
build.
Yeah, and what happens is folks will carry these issues inside of them, refuse to get the proper help, refuse to deal with it in a healthy way, and all it ends up doing is manifesting itself as you see in a destructive way. And with all of them, you could honestly, you can honestly tell that there's a history there.
Yeah.
Like
Absolutely.
even after having children, I can only imagine, and God rest his soul, I can only imagine that the upbringing probably you had things attributed to their way of thinking as well.
Yeah, I guess all we can do is kind of focus on ourselves. I mean, we can't stop stuff from happening, but it's like, come on, now, every minute is something different. But yeah, because when I was on you, that's why I just said I'm just gonna limit my time on YouTube because seeing that, I was like, that was like an hour ago when they said that happened in Texas, and I was like, yeah, it's time for me to, I guess, log out of YouTube because I can't. I have to tune stuff out because it affects me. Some people, they just say, "Oh well, it happens," but that stuff affects me because I have children of my own, and they're adults, and I worry about them. I do. I really worry, but.
When you have broken homes, you don't have someone with foundation teaching and chastising and giving proper nourishment within the household. Get these kind of things. I don't put 100% blame on social media,
Right. Yeah.
but it does have its effect on the way people live their life now, and I think it's only got worse since we've been more availably open to all of the different outsources that's offered to us by using Instagram and YouTube and other platforms like that. But
It's everywhere. You're right.
yeah, but do you think that social media is solely responsible for the behavior pattern of the adult and the generation now? Does it solely affect them based on that, or is it something that's deeply rooted? Because in my opinion, what we're seeing stems from something way deeper than just clicking on a button and
Right.
sitting in front of a camera. It can't just be that simple.
And then there's a question: why did she even choose to? Whoever went live with that, why did they even choose to do that? But you're right. It's not solely because some of this stuff we would not have known about had it not been for the use of social media. But I don't. Yeah, I don't totally blame it. I mean, people have free will to do the right or wrong thing. But yeah, I definitely, if I don't get along with you and we're family, I just stay away, keep my distance. I mean, you can talk on the phone, but that's about it. I just keep my distance. But yeah, the only reason I said, go ahead. You can go ahead.
Oh,
No, I'm
no,
saying you
no.
go ahead.
Now finish,
No,
finish, finish,
oh,
finish your train of thought.
um, well, I mean, I'm not totally, you know, just cutting off social media, but sometimes you have to. It's like so you can have some peace because there's so much going on in the world and everything is on there. Because I mean, like that's it's crazy, but I need that peace as the person that I am. I have to have some peace because stuff sticks with me. Like when I told you about the crash across the street from our house, that stuck with me. I'm better at it. I mean, I'm not as affected by it now, but it was like seeing it because I've never actually seen a car crash, just actually witnessed it. But when I witnessed that, a public bus and a car colliding head on like that, that affects me. So I have to really watch what I expose myself to
Yeah.
because things tend to stick with. I don't know about you. See, you might be the type of person that can let stuff go. But it's not easy for me to let stuff go. It's really not. And I try my best. Not that I hold hate with people, but depending on what's happened to me, it's not easy for me to just forget it like some people. But I'm working on that. I'm working for that because I don't want to hold that inside. And like you were saying about it could manifest itself in a negative way. So that's why I'm working on letting stuff go so I can have that inner peace. Because I mean, when you don't have inner peace, look what happens.
Yeah. Here's my thing. Maybe I can articulate and express this in a way that it might touch somebody. The way the world is kind of set up, they will have you believe that there are certain ways to live your life that will deem you a part of society. The way you talk, the way you walk, the way you speak. If you're not, conforming to certain laws that we have created outside of the spiritual and biblical principles, you're not following their principles or their laws, then you get demonized.
Right.
So the whole I'm a bad guy, I'm a Chad, I'm a Tyrone, I'm someone who does bad things but get rewarded. Stigma has swept the country to the point to where it seems like it's the good way to go. Everything about it is attractive, it's appealing. Everyone seems to draw close to it. And if you, for any reason, decide that you want to walk a totally different path, you want to say no, you want to walk away from someone calling you out your name, or
Mm-hmm.
you ought to take the higher road, call the police, write a letter, go to someone in a position where they're being paid to handle these situations. If you decide to take that route, then you're looked at as corny, awkward,
Right.
lame. You're not fit to be a part of our community. And the whole time, the community is so estranged from the truth that they are doing nothing but destroying themselves. So whenever someone looks at me and judges me on my appearance, judges me on the way I talk, on how long I take to articulate and communicate my thoughts and my opinion, or looks at me because of how I, choose to use my platform, or how I choose to bring people up, or whatever the case may be in regarding me. You want to look at me and then automatically prosecute me, and then everybody else follows suit with that. Now I'm looked at as the person that's on the outskirts. I'm the alien. I'm the weird one. I'm the one you should be scared of. I'm the one that you need to attack, that you need to come for, because I'm not doing what you are doing. I'm not getting locked up. I'm not knocking people up, sleeping with 25 people every week,
Right.
whatever the case.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't fit into your world. So me understanding how people are, the fact of the matter is people are, for the most part, living for themselves. A lot of folks don't have God. A lot of folks don't have that 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 standard, that example anymore, where your father or your grandparents laid down that foundation, and you carry that with you generation.
Yeah, my
It's
grandmother.
severely diminished.
Yeah, she did that. You're right. She did that.
dead. So it's like if I see somebody, I can automatically tell just because I've spent so much time by myself training and honing my own mind and my own spirit and working just on certain things that other people neglect. I've channeled and invested so much in me that I can determine and detect what a person may be or may not be just off of spirit alone. I can have a conversation with within the first 2 minutes. I already know if I'm gonna have to stay away from you or I'm gonna have to move a certain way to, keep my peace because I
Energy
was
don't
raised.
lie.
No, it doesn't. And then when you're raised a certain way, you keep that with carry that throughout your lifetime unless you just completely lose yourself on the walk and you gotta find your way back like I probably have a couple of times. Luke, Luke, we was we I don't know if you really know what we was speaking about though, bro. We was just going over the situation yesterday with the three women. She brought something to my attention, and I, didn't really know this, but she was saying that the lady that shot the other two women were actually all related.
Oh, so that was their cousin as well.
Mm.
It was all
They said,
family.
yeah, they said family, cousins, and I was like, oh man, just the fact that it was two family involved, that whole family is. I don't see how they gonna recover from that.
Damn, you'll shoot your own family.
Yeah, and could have talked it out. And then when they show her, all I saw was a still photo of her holding the gun. I didn't see any emotion in her eyes when she was aiming that gun. She had plenty of time to probably think before she did it, but I mean that wow. And then the children saw it. That's the worst part. The little kids in the car saw that happen to their parent.
Yeah, that was trauma
Yeah,
right there.
yeah, that's the worst trauma. How are they gonna recover from that? The entire family.
Mm-mm-mm.
And she got to think about it in jail. And then you see your cousin say, "I'm sorry," and she's dying, but you see her last words were, "I'm sorry," and that's something that could have been said before any of it happened. And I wish it would have, but when she said she was sorry, that meant it could have. They could have just probably said, "Look, we got to stop."
They could have handled it another way.
Yeah, it's
It
so
ain't
sad.
have to go south like that.
That's heartbreaking.
Mm.
Then that's probably a destructive cycle that might, I don't know, maybe it'll end, but if the children saw that, who's to say how they're going to turn out? Because they don't even have their mother anymore.
Right. All of those women were mothers. That's another downer right there. It's it's just crazy. That was just a crazy scene looking at that.
And I don't want to continue talking about like violence, but I just want to bring up another story where it was a teacher. She was at a Dunkin' Donuts drive-through, and somebody uh, walked up to her and shot her and killed her. Her son was in the back seat, and
Mm.
the reason I'm bringing it up because when it happened, people were saying road rage, but it wasn't road rage. She was targeted. She was with a guy that broke up with another woman, and she wanted. I guess she was angry and hurt, and she had the woman killed. She set
Mm.
this woman up to be killed. The woman probably didn't even know of her existence. I don't know, but instead she didn't target the guy. She went after her.
Right.
So it's like now you're in jail. This other guy to help you is in jail, but this guy probably is going to just at some point move on with his life with another woman. But she had this woman killed for nothing, for being with a man that she couldn't be with anymore.
Wow.
Yeah, and this woman
And
was a teacher. She was just going to the Dunkin' Donuts, which she probably does every day with her child.
And I think we were speaking on that the other day about these murders being taken, these murders being had in front of people's kids. Like
Yeah.
people don't care no more. They'll do you in front of your kid, they'll do your kid. So
Mm.
that's the world changed. That used to be some standards when it come to beef and stuff like that, but I see them standards being erased now. You know,
Yes, it's a lot of sadness. I mean, we're not all like that, though. That's the good thing because everybody is not that way. And I know that's not everybody because I could never do that, you know. And if somebody is in my life and if I'm with a man and I find out he's cheating with somebody else, I'm letting him go. That's it. It's not, I'm not fighting. I'm not getting back at him. I'm just going to let him go. You know, that's life. You move on.
right,
But yeah, I would never do anything like that. It's not worth it. Just let it go. You move on, you hurt, and you move on. And if I ever encounter a young woman and she feels like she wants to be vengeful, I'm going to talk her out of it. I'm going to do everything in my power to talk her out of it because I had to tell that to a young woman because she was crying over a guy that, he didn't want her anymore. And I was telling her, like, maybe 20 or like 10 or 5 years from now, you're going to look back and you're going to be like, I cannot believe I cried over this joker. And I would say the same thing to a guy, but I'm just saying I would, and within my power to stop them and let them know one day you're not going to even care about this person.
right,
So let it go. Get it out. Cry. Do it. Do what you need to do health wise, but move on.
exactly.
Yeah, because it's not worth it.
It really ain't, but it be that pride that come in the way of people. The ego and the pride
Yes.
that people don't want people. That's what drives people to do these devilish acts that took place with the three women.
Mm.
It's the pride. You know what I'm saying? People got to learn to let it go. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't, all the thing gonna happen is, you people gonna lose their life, and you want to affect everybody around you for
Right.
just taking a moment of silence and get your thoughts together. People don't have a clear head when they make these acts.
One person. Yep. One person can affect the lives of. That's strange, right? One person can affect the lives of many people by just
Many
one
people,
act.
one act.
Yep. So you have to think. Yeah. So, but I mean, that's sad. But I mean, it's good that's happening in the world. But that's sad. It's a lot of sadness. We see a lot more sadness than good, and we already know the media is not going to focus on good. So we have to remember that.
No, they drive off negativity all the
Yes,
time.
they do.
That's where the
You know,
money at.
even when good things happen in my community, because we have like what is it, 200 black men, I think that's what the organization's called, and they march through the communities. They interact with the communities, but you don't hear a lot about them on the news because to them that's they just want to keep that narrative, that negative narrative going. They don't focus on it. It's a lot of good in this community where I live, but they don't focus on it. And I see it
You
every
know,
day. Kids that are polite, respectful, working hard, they focus on the negative.
it's it's sad because when you really think about it, what are you jealous over? What are you really envious over? Is it the fact that it's making you feel something that you don't like? Because if we're being completely honest, the things that we hurt over a lot of the times, it's usually things that weren't for us in the first place.
Right.
I mean,
True. Oh my
think
goodness.
think about when think about a child that wants a toy, but they don't know that there's certain dangers with that particular toy, and the parent is telling you no, 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 Now, right now, you're not old enough, but you keep pressing for it,
Mm.
and then you end up with it, and what happens?
It's broke.
Either
You break it.
it, either you broke
There
it
you go.
or it broke you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now you whining and crying. Your parent looking at you like, I told you, but because you saw something that looked appealing to
Right.
you and it made you feel a certain way, you gotta have it. Now you're hurting. Now you're going through withdrawal. You're smoking. You're drinking. Your attitude changed. Your personality changed. Everything about you changes all over things that wasn't for you in the first place
Right.
because you wanted it too soon, or you saw somebody else with it and you thought, oh, if they can have it, I can have it.
Right.
The type of love that this person is getting may not be the type of love that you need or want. Type of friendship that they have might not even be a real friendship, but you looking at it like
Yeah.
it is, and the whole time it's toxic as hell.
Yeah.
And
Somebody just said 12, they've been suffering for 12 years from heartbreak. And that's sad. I'm sorry to hear that. Because everybody don't heal right away.
Yeah, that
yeah,
it affects people in different ways. I like to say you gotta turn your pain into champagne. You know what I'm saying? So whatever was affecting you, you gotta get some you gotta get some glory out of that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can't stay in the rut. You can't stay down and out. You know what I'm saying? You gotta come back. The comeback story is the best to me.
It is. You're right.
It's the triumph and all of that. Yeah, you get the progress. You gotta trust the process because all of that's everything that happened to you is really a blessing in disguise. Like you just said, it wasn't really for you. The problem was you ain't realize it yet. When something go wrong for you, you like the you really the last one to really understand why that had to happen. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because the actions has already showed you that it wasn't for you. Some people want to find out to the bitter end. Like I'm gonna play it out. I'm gonna try to I'm gonna go back, and then what they say, I'm gonna teach your ass again. It wasn't.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to trust your body, your intuition on things. You have to. Your body will tell you when something is not right for you. Can't go against it. So that's true.
yeah, but we human, right?
Yeah. We don't listen.
We yeah, we look with our eyes first. We don't go with the intangibles within ourselves before we judge everything based off what we physically touch and
But you
take
learn
in
because at the age I am now, I do. The age I am now, I know better.
yeah. And I was a hard headed person too, so I understand how it feels to try to let go of things that you've been holding on to for a long time. But at the end of the day, even like in the hard stuff and the days where it's real dark, things like you can't get through it. There's always a lesson. There's always something there for you to learn from and take and grow within it and do something way better than you thought you could. You just have to be willing to go through it.
Yeah, I mean that's well. I have a just like see. I just saw that person comment. You know how something can happen to you and you can have a you replay it sometimes in your mind. I had to train myself not to do that because when you do that, it hurts all over again. So that photographic memory, yeah, I could. I just had to train myself not to do that. Stop remembering or replaying it because it just hurts. all over again. You're just experiencing it all over again.
Yeah, it's kind of just like when you take a test and might uh get some answers wrong. It's multiple choice, but what ends up happening is they give you the answer. So I kind of applied like real life situations. Might fail at it a couple of times, but even when you feel that there's always the answer, you have to go back to them. But you skip A, B. Let's say there's A, B, C, and D. You might have chose A, but the answer was
Yeah.
B.
Yeah.
So you might end up having to choose A, C, D, and then it's actually B. You know, that's kind of how I look at it. We all make these kind of mistakes. You know, it happens. You can't beat yourself up.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you should never beat yourself up. I mean, life is a process we learning as we go. It took me some years to not be hard headed, like you said, because the thing is, I can tell my children in a different way. Like I'm not yelling at them. I always like when I'm talking to my daughter, the Kiara, the one you met online. I tell her this is adult to adult. We're not like chill. You're not a child. So whenever I speak to you about life, we're both adults now. So I'm on a certain level with them, so they'll actually listen to me to keep them from
Right.
making the mistakes I made. And they haven't, though. I'm proud to say they haven't made the mistakes I made. Only because I was guiding them. That's the only reason. And they knew I loved them. I never, I mean, it's like if your parent, and I'm just not going to touch too deep on this, if your parent has problems with self love, they probably can't teach you love. Because my mother wasn't able to do that. So she wasn't able to teach it to me. So I had to teach it to my children. I had to realize that because I could see that my mother didn't love herself because she heard so many negative things from my grandmother to her, and she just passed it on to us. So we
Gotcha.
had our own self esteem issues, but that's another story for another time. But yeah, I had to let them know that they are beautiful. I love you. I told them that I love you, and I'm not even the most affectionate mother. Like the hugs, I did that when they were little, but I'm not the most affectionate. But they know I love them. They know what I will do for them. And I mean, as far as you try to harm my child, you'll see a totally different side of me. And they already know that. They can attest to that. I'm like a mother bear. You will see a totally different side of me. And that's the way,
That's under,
put that out.
that's understood. I know that's right.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you get back to what you were saying. I probably took you off course.
Oh no, I just I had a little technical difficulty over here, but yeah, it's pretty much like you can't let nothing get you off course. You know what I'm saying? It's a blessing. Blessings be coming in disguise. So you just gotta you just gotta go through your situation, your story. Everybody's story different. You
Yeah.
just gotta go through it to get to it, man. Everybody go through stuff, you know. But if you quit, you ain't never gonna find out what's on the other side if you quit.
That's true. You don't give up on yourself.
Yeah.
And yeah, don't beat yourself up when we like you had said you were saying how God helped you get off you know what I'm talking about, right? When you said you were smoking.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
talking
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and I was like, but I never heard you say you was not really giving yourself credit. I'm not saying you shouldn't say God helped you, but I'm saying people have a tendency to not give themselves credit at all. Like what that you overcame this. You have to kind of you have to give yourself credit too because it takes a lot to overcome any kind of dependency. It takes a lot. So if you overcame that, you got to pat yourself on the back. You got to give yourself credit.
Right.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I was bad. I was very, very. Uh, I was. I'm telling you, like it was. It was Newport. It was Black and Miles. It was any. If it was anything I could get my hand on, if I could get that hit,
Yeah.
that whatever that dope. If I could get that dopamine hit, I'm good. And I was. I ain't gonna. I ain't gonna hold you. I was bad, man. I was. It was, and I mean, it was embarrassing how bad it was to this day. I don't even think about it as much, but it's like, dang, I can't believe I came this far. It's been years, but it's
Did you just one day
like
just
I,
get tired?
yeah, one day I just, I'm gonna be real honest. I wanted to die. I was
Wow.
severely depressed. I was severely depressed. I wasn't going to church. I knew I knew God. I spoke to him, but you know, the high wasn't helping. The alcohol wasn't helping. The affection that I was seeking, I wasn't getting through what I was intaking in my body,
Mm-hmm.
and I was ready to just give up. That's when I realized that I was just tired of the same result. Waking up next day, looking over the edge of my bed for something to roll up. Waking up next day trying to figure out where I was going to get my next cigarette or how I was going to get that bottle so I could just escape from the world and everything in it.
Exactly.
Suppress, Suppressing
Yeah,
it doesn't help.
that's a good comment down there, man. Shout out to you, man. You hitting it on the button tonight. Yeah, suppressing issues isn't addressing it.
Yeah, it don't help it.
You
You
gotta
got to get it
you
down.
gotta go you gotta take care of that. You gotta confront what's going on with you. And I think that's so important. It you know what I'm saying, admitting is the first step, you know what I'm saying, that you got a problem, and then you can start dealing with it as you confess. You know what I mean? Because it don't get no better if you don't address it.
And, and with that being said, this all ties back into our original um, subject at the beginning of this, how folks can have so much indignation, so much hate to the point that they do ignorant things. You don't know what people are going through. I don't know your life outside of this phone or hers. I know to a certain degree. I, I don't know your journey. I don't
Right.
know your personal walk. Everybody's walk is different. God is looking at us different. So, however, we all came to be here today, right now, whether you killed somebody or you are a pedophile, whatever the case may be, we don't know these people. We
Right.
don't know their soul. We don't know their spirit. We don't know what created that mess. So it's like, how can I look at you any different?
That's
It's my
that's why they say don't judge, because everybody got their own story, and everybody got to have their own personal
Yep.
relationship
Yep.
with they God. You know what I'm saying? When you ready, and then they got to do it on their time. And so just because somebody at a different place than where you at, don't mean they not gonna get there. You know what I mean? It's timing for everybody. Everybody got everybody got to face their own demons at the right time.
Exactly.
And God will help you through all your battles if you had a faith to to give it to him so you can get through it. Everybody been through a hurdle that they that they couldn't climb on their own. So yeah, you got to give up that faith so you can get through it. That's real talk right there.
When they say God will use the person that everybody thinks is weak to show that He exists and show strength, I can understand. I can understand that. I really can.
Well, when you're different from other people, they they judge you because they don't understand why you're different. Like if you don't drink or smoke, like get high, and you like around somebody that does, they look at you weird because they're like, you don't drink or get high. No, so they just look at you like you're weird. When you just your own person, you do your own thing.
I get
Just
high to other stuff. They look at you
Right.
like a
On life,
square, like they
you can
call
get
you a
high on
square.
life.
Yeah.
think,
Mm-hmm.
think about it this. Think about it this way. Imagine if I never did a live stream, or if I never was on Instagram, and, and this conversation never happened. The people that I've met on here since I've been here, I would have never came in contact with. You don't know who you're going to affect. You don't know who you're going to touch or gravitate to
Right.
just by being yourself, being in the right position at the right time.
That's true.
And a lot of people have wasted their gift trying to conform to people, trying to be like everybody else. I could care less if you don't like that I wear a mask. I don't care if you think I'm odd, weird, difficult. I don't get the point quick enough. I don't care if you don't understand my poetry, my lingo, the way I dress. I don't care about none of it. Because to be honest with you, the person that's going to understand it is going to be the one that's going to be the person I really care for the most because they need it. That's one of the reasons why I enjoy doing these live.
It's all about the man upstairs, right?
It is. It really is. He uses. He's supposed. See, he uses us to help heal other people that's broken.
Mm-hmm.
Unless we accept that and move in that divine order, we're just going to continue to get what we get out here. But
Yeah. Some people got to learn a hard lesson in life. Some people can pinpoint and understand that it was a message in that lesson. Some people want to keep going and find out the hard way. That's why I say. I mean, if you gotta show somebody again, this time you gonna understand because it can be worse. That's why I say when something wrong happened, like when something you feel like get taken away from you or something like that, it was really a blessing in that loss, but you you are the only one holding you back at that point because you is the one that have to accept it. It's already been done for you. You just gotta accept it for yourself. Some people can some people can get that lesson. It took me a long time to get that lesson. A long time. But when I finally got it, I was like, yeah, I see now. Because situations it don't improve. It get worse. It get worse out there for you. And whatever it takes to get you to see what they already planted, that's what is gonna happen. And that's real.
That's true.
I don't honestly think a lot of people care about themselves as much as they say they do.
You say people don't care about
I,
themselves?
I don't think that a lot of people actually love themselves. as much as they claim they do.
Well, they yeah, that's true. There's truth to that.
Yeah, yeah.
And I mean, I, I say that because to truly love yourself, you would do everything in your power not to poison yourself in any way, shape, or form. Fact, you would do
Well, when
everything
you
in your
no, you're right. I mean, when you love you truly love yourself too, you don't allow anybody to abuse you. You what they call your temple. You refuse to take uh, BS off of anybody. You're not gonna let anybody abuse you or
Boundaries,
mistreat you.
boundaries, right?
Yeah, you gotta have boundaries. But yeah, you won't you. It's like you get to that point where you're not allowing it. Like if you're in love with somebody, you can be in love with somebody, but the moment they cheat on you, it's like, oh, I'm done. You know, and you got to really be done. Can't go back. You got to really be done at some point because that's when you start to love you.
Mm-hmm.
But that's true because this world kind of makes you not love yourself. When you think about what's portrayed out there, you got to be a certain way. You got to look a certain way. Because I was watching a Nollywood movie and this lady, I could tell she bleached her skin. I mean, she was so bright, but I was like, wow, she's brighter than everybody else in the movie. But I mean, people do that. They bleach their skin. It's the way this world has taught people, especially people of color, to think. So it's an influence. It's hard to probably truly love yourself, especially if you're young and influential, and people can manipulate people. So it's everybody, I guess, has their own journey with that self love. It took me some years, a long
You
time.
just got to be comfortable in your own skin, though,
Yes.
and recognize that this world was meant for everybody to be different. Everybody can't be the same because if they was, it'd be a boring world. You wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
you wouldn't have all these new outlooks to explore and discover. So yeah, you gotta own your own creativity, your own originality, and go from that because we our whole walk is a testimony. Our whole walk is a teaching tool to somebody else, and that's real.
Yeah, we learn new stuff every day.
Yeah, through people.
Right? We are, yes.
Yeah, you gotta hear everybody's story and stuff like that because that can help you down the line. So to me, hey, pick my brain because I got some stories and I got some lessons, some hard lessons I had to go through, and I don't mind passing it down
Yeah.
because if it can help, if it can save some people, man, hey, ain't no point in me holding on to this.
Yeah,
Pass it down.
yeah. Especially when people think they're alone. And then they hear that you endured whatever what they might have endured. That 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 helps them. Because it's a lot of people out here that think they're alone. They done been through something. They're like nobody else has been through this. And that's not true.
That's not true.
yeah, social media, people in general, man, can just be a headache sometimes. I ain't gonna lie to you. Sometimes I don't even want to bother with people. People are frustrated, man. I understand, and the thing is, I understand that there's a deeper rooted issue, you know, in some folks because I'm one of them folks that has those things, you know. But it's just like you just get tired, you get drained sometimes. You gotta protect your peace and energy at all costs. And I pinned that post right there because they right. Gotta have boundaries.
And you
Gotta have
you shouldn't pour into nobody that's not pouring into you.
Exactly.
People don't know that. Whatever you giving, you know what I'm saying, it need to be, you know what I'm saying, it need to be equal take because that energy that you giving that person, you can give them double if they match you. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
It'll keep you going, like we just said, getting your energy all drained and stuff. If your energy get drained, you can't, you know what I'm saying, giving and being your best person to these people because you don't have nothing left to give.
Yeah, some
That's
people are energy vampires too. Yeah,
yeah,
they just go
I
back to
just
doing the
used
same
that.
stuff.
that's real talk.
I just said that to somebody earlier today too. Energy vampire. That's exactly what it is.
It just come suck up your energy and move on to another victim. It's not
Yeah, and then
it's not
yeah,
cool. It's not fair.
and then they
You
look for
know.
you like they'll look for your advice, and they really don't want your advice. Then you give them all the advice and support you can, and they still they still do the same thing anyway.
Facts.
So it's like, no, I'm done. You can't keep doing that. People do drain you. They want your
Mm-hmm.
support, but they drain you. Probably don't even like you, but they just draining your energy anyway.
The good person these days is undervalued, underappreciated, and get stepped on. So you're gonna pay
Mm.
the price out here for being a good person.
Yep, that's when the
That's
boundaries come in. You can be a good person because I noticed it was a. I had a friend on Facebook, and she I had to help her financially one time, and well, she asked me, and I just felt bad if I didn't. But I didn't ask for it back or anything. But then I helped her again, and I'm not rich, but I helped her, and that was it. And I didn't talk about it and ask for it back. And then she asked me again, and I said, well, this time I don't have it because I was helping somebody else. And
mm,
I noticed she didn't stop talking to me after that. She just didn't even talk to me anymore. And I was like, oh, okay. I just left it alone. I was like, well, I won't contact her or talk to her because I was like, she's just kind of showing me who she is. She didn't really
yeah.
care about me at all. She just saw a nice person that she could get something out of. So I was like, okay, just left it alone. I'm not like dealing with a person like that. I just said, okay, I see her for who she is now.
There you go. And it's a
Yeah,
lot of it's a lot of givers that give to to get the validation to people. You know what I'm saying? That's
yeah,
crazy too. You know what I'm saying? Like the only way you will be accepted if I give. Like nah,
right.
that got to stop.
Yeah,
That
that's
got to
why
stop.
I just was done. I was like, no, breaking myself for somebody else.
Yeah.
I'm still helping a few people now. I can barely do it, but I'm not saying they're taking advantage of because they really don't have anything. But I limit it. I don't. I'm not going to put myself in a hole for anybody.
Right. I mean, you can only do so much,
Yeah.
and and for anybody who has an issue with saying, look, I don't mind helping you. I have helped, but I'm at a point to where I can't even really do too much anymore. They should they should understand that and not have an issue with that and still talk to you the next day.
You'd
Like,
be
no,
surprised.
I know, nah, I'm not. I'm not. Trust, believe. I'm one of those. Admittedly, I'm one of those givers. I'm one of them people who overly does things. So I've been on the receiving end, and I've been the person who's done damage. So I get it, and
Mm,
and it's fortunately enough, God, has said no to me so many times to where I've been spared from stuff. So salute to you, you know, for pouring out when you don't have to. And I know, it's not easy for everybody to be living out here. Cost alone is just ridiculous how everything is moving up. People don't really understand it. I don't know. I don't know. Boundaries definitely got to be set,
You
and
know
you
what I
gotta.
was. Go ahead. I don't want to keep interrupting you because I didn't know you was going to keep talking. I apologize.
Now you good. You good.
I was going to say when I was in my 20s, mid 20s, and I had my two daughters with me, and I had a falling out with my mom. and I had left, and I was homeless. I wasn't on the street homeless. I was in like a shelter, but I was never, and I'm so blessed to say I never had to sleep on the street, because when I went to the shelter and I was afraid to do it, but I had to do it, because the situation was too toxic. And whenever I would go onto these shelters and it touched me, they were single women in these shelters, and they always were giving. They would give me things because I guess because I had two children with me. They were always giving, and they didn't have much. And I saw one of them; she was sleeping on the street, and it broke my heart to see her because I had a apartment then, and this woman was always giving to me, and that touched me deep because it's like they don't even have a lot, and these people are here to have the world, and they don't give like people that don't have much good. And I think that's why I was so open to helping people, because these women were always trying to help me. They made sure I would get on the bus. They was always concerned, like mothering me. But it really touched me. I used to cry about it because they didn't even have anything, and they were still trying to give of themselves. So I was like, I don't know what happened in their lives to get them to the point of drugs and being on the street. But I just was like, I hope they overcome it, because those are the kind of people we need out here.
Yeah, somebody that have empathy. They had empathy.
Yeah,
They've been there and done that, and they know what it's like. I just had a
yeah. It's
situation.
wow.
I just had a situation with a young a woman was working alongside me, and she told me she just wasn't really getting, she wasn't used to nobody being kind to her and
Mm,
being cooperative with her. They was always putting her in these tough environments, and I said it and I told her, I said, because it happened to me. I've been there, done that. So I told myself that I wouldn't do somebody like that was done to me. And
exactly.
so me and her had that converse, and then as soon as we did that, it was teamwork make a dream work. That's how it went.
Yeah, teamwork makes the dream work. Oh, I like that. You always got your little phrases. Because you said something else I like. I forgot what it was. She said something else that I really like.
Oh, you got to go through it to get to it.
Yeah, yeah. I forgot, but yeah, because I'm older now. I don't remember everything, but yeah, because and you look young, so yeah, you can lead people, especially younger people.
So I mean, that's that empathy. People gotta feel people, man. Feel people's walks and struggles and stuff like that, and you gotta learn from what you went through. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's how people should be. Some people, like we was talking about before, they look at it like it's a job, and some people look at it like it's a passion. It's But they all mix together. You just gotta find out which one is who.
That's true, and I think that's my passion, helping people,
That's real talk.
even if it's support. Yeah, just to support them and let them know that they can overcome what they're going through.
Oh yeah.
Maybe that's what.
I'm not gonna lie. A lot of these people that's on the streets are more humble than folks that have homes over there.
Yeah.
I done came across a few of them, man, that they more rich than I am,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not talking about the same type of financial gain that someone else might be talking about. I'm talking about what's in here. They
Mm-hmm.
they they way more happier than we could ever be, most of them, even in their situation. That, that's where I want to be at. Not necessarily on the street, but in a place where empathy and sympathy still matters.
Right.
Well, they say you gotta be
You know,
happy with what you have. I'm just happy with what I have.
Just
More money, more
real.
problems sometimes. So
You're just real blessed. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Blessed. Seriously. And that's what it's about. You know what I'm saying? And finding that peace and joy, and being at ease with what what God gave you and what God blessed you with, or what God
Mm.
brung you and at your, being comfortable where you at in your life right now. That's all right there is a blessing. So everything that you went through and you still here. You
Yes.
see what I'm saying? So that's what people need to be thankful and blessed, man, because life ain't no joke. And I know everybody know that by now.
Yep. Every day I come home from whatever I'm doing, I'm thankful because I mean, anything can happen. So yeah, I'm very grateful for what I have and that I'm still here.
Yeah.
It's like it's like being a human raffle ticket in one of those lottery machine balls that they spin, and
Mm-hmm.
then it just randomly just stick their hand in and pull out.
Right.
That's kind of how I feel like it is with people when it comes to this life thing, man. You don't know when you're going to get that. You could be the one that's getting pulled out of that little ball that's spinning. So what you going to do with that day?
And let
What
me
you
say this too. Not to cut you off, but let me say this too. People, what we always say about people is people. People is not, nobody's perfect. Nobody. So I don't think it's I don't think it's cool, or I don't think it's right for somebody to put their happiness in somebody else's hands, because
Yeah.
you're gonna be let down every single time, because people are not perfect. Once again, I'm not saying they'll do you like that on purpose, but because people are not perfect, you know what I'm saying, they're gonna let you down. They're not gonna give to you like you think.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we get this,
got
all of us, we get disappointed a lot by people. Even sometimes your own children will disappoint you, but that's a part of life.
It's a part of human
Yep,
nature. Yep.
we do. We're not perfect.
yeah, a lot of gems, a lot of gems in drop at that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm with y'all on everything that y'all saying. You know, the live streams aren't just meant for talking about death, sadness, things of that nature. We pretty much just going to talk about anything and everything. You really don't know what the next subject is going to be. When I got on here initially, it was supposed to be about something me and you discussed the day before. 'Cause we had two topics. The first one we spoke about yesterday. The other one was about the stepfather and his teen,
Mm-hmm.
and like you just can't predict how the conversation will go at any given day. So, like, as far as the people that's in the chat, going through the things that they're going through with the healing and you know trying to just make it through everyday life. I I pray for you. I know that you have the strength to do it. It's not impossible. It's not out of your reach. If you woke up and we woke up, then every second that you got right now is an opportunity to be great, not by my standards, not by anyone else's standards, but by your standards and God's standards. Because what He thinks is good enough is good enough. Doesn't matter if I think what you're doing is good enough.
Yeah. Right. Facts.
Just,
Facts.
just, just this right now is good enough. We don't, it's not about the quality. The quantity is about the quality. It's always been about that. That's my whole thing. It's always ever been about that. I could care less about trying to be, anything else other than authentic about anything that's going on here in this space.
That's facts. It's hard. You know, it's hard to replace good people. You can put a person in your shoes just like that. But that's why I always preach about self over title, because if you yourself, you can make any title that you can ever be in life, any title, any achievement, whatever. If you your authentic self, and you stay in your purpose and stuff and yourself, you can make any title better, just instantly, just by being who you are, instead of
Yeah.
instead of looking at it the other way. Good people is hard to find. Good people hard to replace, and that's fact.
Yeah, especially when they leave the world, man, when they leave the world too soon, seem like, yeah, they leave a void.
Yeah, talking about
The
some
funny
shoes to be
thing,
filled. It's hard to feel somebody that's, what I'm saying, that
the
got a passion
funny,
for something. Go ahead.
the funny thing about that is the fact that people really think that it's just so easy. It's, it's that easy to just replace or come up on someone that's exactly like you, but a better version.
Yeah,
Like people are people are always looking for something bigger and better,
Mm-hmm.
and don't really, you really don't understand or grasp exactly what you just let go of, or what how hard is it going to be to replace something that you can't actually replace. I find it comical and sad at the same time.
that's true though. People always trying to replace a person, especially when you find a rare person that's, like you said, that good heart. Because not everybody has a good heart. People have ulterior motives, and some people, not everybody. But if sometimes I can see that in a person, I immediately notice it because there was somebody I tried to tell that to, that this person has ulterior motives. They kind of showed it by things they said and did, but sometimes people don't see it, and it's like right in their face, and they still don't see it. If somebody, people let you know what they about. Sometimes they do. They let you know what type of person they are. So if you ignore what they're showing you, then that's kind of on you.
Right.
Then when they show you they got some shadiness to them, they do. They let you know, like this lady, she thought this was funny. Now she's grown, and this was on IG, and she was like, I like watching binge watching crime shows, like the ones where the women snap, that like that show Snapped. She said she binge watches those shows. She thought that was funny. I didn't think it was funny because she said she's letting you know, she's letting men know what type of woman she is. I was like, that's not funny. You
Mm.
put yourself out there. She thought it was funny, but I didn't. I was like, wow, that's scary.
Wow.
And she was
Like
younger
she
than me, and I
like
told her don't do that. I was like, that's not funny. You're letting, no man is, nobody out here is worth you taking their life because they don't want you or something. But she was content with feeling that way, and I left it alone. I was like, wow, I wish, please. But yeah, people
That's crazy.
will.
Yeah, P, you
hey,
can't you
hey
can't
I,
doubt nobody's patterns. Like once they show you who they are, you just need to go ahead and believe them.
Yeah, I was like, okay. Openly saying that to the world that you like that. And you never know who's watching social media because you got what your boss could be watching social media, anybody. And you say something like that. She
Exactly.
just minimized her prospects when she said that because all the guys that know her was probably like, oh no. So I wish her good, I wish her luck.
yeah, that's a whole nother thing right there. You got a responsibility. Anybody who's using these platforms, whether you know it or not, you have a responsibility to yourself, to the people that are around it in your app. You have responsibility. Now, what you do with your platform and your business, I'm not here to say anything, but you can't be surprised at what you get. And there's a lot of folks that use their platform for monetary gain, for selfish reasons. A lot of people use it to prey on weak and broken people.
Yep, they do.
Yeah, it varies a lot. And from what you just said, yeah, I stay away. I stay away from her too, because you like snap, you watch it faithfully, like you trying to study and learn how to get away with stuff in the, for the future. I'm okay. I'm okay on that. That's telling me you got some screws to some things. Something ain't right with
Mm.
you. I mean, I like crime shows too, but I'm not.
Yeah, we all do, but we don't binge watch them to the point of thinking about what we could do if we could do that and stuff. That's why I mean I'm good being single because I mean come on I've heard I've been threatened not I mean in a relationship but I'm saying it's happened and I'm like I'm done I'm good and I'm not a cheater I am not a cheater but I was like I'm done because you got too many people that want to be cheated they feel like they could cheat on you but you gotta be the fool and the loyal one and it's like I'm good being single. I will gladly stay by myself.
Some like them on that. Some
No, I
people
think for
just
everybody else, I'm just saying for me, it's working for me right now because
I feel you.
I
Yeah,
live my life.
you got to choose you first.
Yep.
That's you are number one. That's how it always starts. Anyway, you gotta choose you always. That's the best option
Yeah,
because
that is right.
if you don't, you the one gonna suffer.
Yeah, that's so. I've learned that at this age I am. I've learned that we've been on here a while. Don't even seem like it.
It never does when you got the right intention.
Yeah, I'm not a. Yeah, I'm a private person. So yeah, when I do the lives, I don't notice the time.
Yeah, like yesterday we started talking about that whole situation with them three women, and by the time it was over, it was dang near 2 hours going in. I Yeah, time really do fly, but I
Well,
enjoy. I
next time we do a live, it's something I want to talk to you about. There was a incident where it's a touchy subject, but this guy, and he's claims to be a woman, but he made a threat to other women, and he's on TikTok, and he
Mm.
had said, "Stopping me from being in using a woman's bathroom will be the last mistake you ever make," and it was directed at women when he said that, and he was talking about public bathrooms, this lady responded, and she said she's going to protect herself since you want to make that threat. We will protect ourselves in bathrooms, but you know what? Now I'm to the point I don't want to ever go in a public bathroom, even if it's in a fast food place or a mall,
Wow.
because this is where we are now. That's scary, and he meant that. He said it. He was on TikTok. He thought he didn't have any problem making that threat. That no woman is going to stop him from entering that bathroom. And I was done. I was like, I will avoid those restrooms at all costs because this is the world we are living in now.
It's crazy out here. I'm telling
Yeah,
you.
I was done. I was like,
Anything can happen.
mm-hmm. So he got threatened by a lot of people, but he had like this smirk on his face, and I was like, wow. So it opens the door for predators to just say whatever, and I'm just kind of, I'm glad
Yeah,
I don't have girls, but
yeah, I'm a father. I'm not. I know I'm not. I wouldn't send my daughter in a bathroom with a guy. It's not.
right.
It's
This is,
not happening. You're gonna come out that bathroom.
yep. And
You know.
and this is where we all go, where we literally have to allow this.
Mm,
So, I avoid them. It's like, no, I'm not, and I'm not patronizing any business that allows that. So that's a difficult topic. I know it is, but it's scary because I do have daughters, even though they're grown. We, I have to. We know now. We know we have to go in groups, or we have to have a gentleman waiting right outside that bathroom, just in case anything happens.
mm.
You have to be very careful.
Yeah.
This this was the topic that I was trying to cover last what Thursday or so, something like that. We got on here, remember?
Mm-hmm.
And I knew it was going to be one of those controversial ones. I really don't care though. It needs to be said. We can hold off on that if y'all want, but it's one of them things, man. And the only reason I got to the place where I was like, yeah, we need to go ahead and do this was the fact that they forcing. Well, I say I'm in a position where I got to work around that.
Yeah, you told me that.
So if I got to go in the restroom, I don't know if you are I don't know I don't know if you're a dude or a female coming in here. I don't. I don't know until you
Oh
go
man.
to handle your, like, like that's uncomfortable.
Mm mm mm
But they making it to where you're forced to have to accept it. It shouldn't be accepted. But to each his own. Some people might
Yeah.
feel like they should have every right that the next person has. I'm gonna leave it alone.
Yeah. I remember what you told me about your job. So yeah. So know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it.
And like you said, you're a dad and you ain't let no man, yeah,
Now,
I agree.
if I'm aware of a man in the bathroom with not just that. If I'm aware of a man in the bathroom with and the little girl going in there, no, and they think that's normal, no, you got to come out.
Mm-hmm.
You need to go into the right bathroom, sir.
Yeah, it's spooky. It's a spooky world we live in.
Hell with that.
Yeah, because I used to go to the mall, but I don't go as often as I used to because I don't want to run into that scenario because I have a temper and I already know I'm gonna go off. So I just rather avoid it.
yeah.
That stuff
We
crazy.
we gonna we gonna save it. You know why? Because to be honest with you, I wanna see how far down the rabbit hole we can go with that. I ain't gonna hold you. Like, I
Come
don't
on, dog.
I don't I don't mind the chill, relax, laid back stuff, but some things, kind of piss you off.
Yeah.
I know I know a lot of stuff pissed me off, and I handle it as as proper as I possibly can. But then there's this stupid stupid things that just don't make no
Right.
sense, that you kind of got to just let it go.
You're right.
The violence, the unnecessary killings, and
Mm.
the bullying, and all these different little things that's happening online, and people are just being quiet about it and acting like everything is fine when it is not. Then you got folks, and you said this the other day, bro. People will be in the comment section gassing it, hyping you, cheering you on to do dumb shit, and then they'll turn their head and their back to you once you done, you know, gave in to their stuff,
Yep.
and did exactly what
Gave into
they
the hype.
wanted
They instigators, man. Instigating. instigating the instigating fights and that's just being hyped for no reason. It's like it was senseless.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, yeah. There's no cap over world. Y'all already know. There ain't no filters over here. I don't. I hope there's never a point where we can't be ourselves. We can't express, say what exactly we feel. I hope it never gets to that point. I don't want anyone to feel like they need to censor their mouth just because this is a platform and they got eyes on us.
Right.
They could, you know, I don't want to live in a world like that. It's already bad enough they trying to shut us down in so many other areas. You want to take away my freedom of speech too.
Yep, that's what it feels like. But I'm glad I was able to talk about it.
I'm glad you brought up. I was glad you brought up that topic in general. Like I was trying to say, if there's anything you ever want to express or bring up, the floor is just as much yours as it is everyone else's. So
Facts.
Well, I'm wishing y'all a good evening because we've been
yeah,
on here.
we we about going to go ahead and
And
close out. It's 10 like
we
10.
did like 3 overtimes, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Uh, we got a link up again. I know definitely try to do this again next Saturday, but I want to do something this week too. So
And then we
yeah,
got 2 topics that you like you just touched on that we need to kind of cover. The one was for today, and then the one that was for the other day. So yeah, so we got more coming up.
Well, I'll try to be on
I,
here more current than just Saturday because sometimes I respond kind of late. So I'll just try to, uh, stay on here a little earlier sometimes when I log in.
sound good. And I guess what I can just reach out.
But I will say this: since we all of us on here, Monday